So welcome back to Oulton Park, our third and final Dunlop Sport Maxx Production Cup race about to get underway, with the top 7 positions reversed, of course. Therefore, the Class B car of Jordan Witt lines up on pole position. Alongside him is Currie in the Nissan in second place. The Nissan, a heavier car. Of course, the diesel has the torque off the start-finish line, and the red lights come on, they go out, and it's a good start from both front row men. It looks as though the Nissan has just about got the upper hand, however, as they head down towards Old Hall for the first time. Currie will take the lead of the race from Jordan Witt in second place, then it's Gary Duckman in third, and it looks as though it may well be Alex Ashby that's fed his way through and into fourth position. All over the curbs on the exit of Old Hall and raising the dust goes Tim Saunders, as we ride on board once more with our camera car in the hands of Andrey Magiy. The Mini, of course, will have started down on the fourth row of the grid, but we can see that the car that's ahead of him already is the Nissan of Jethro Bovingdon. So the Class A cars making their way up through the order. There is Gary Duckman in second place. Alex Ashby is there in third position. Adrian Churchill and Stuart Clark, our winners from the earlier races, sit there in fourth and fifth positions respectively. And Jordan Witt is there in sixth in the BMW at the moment, about to be gobbled up by the more powerful car of Dan Malone, the 19-year-old from Conway in Wales. In towards the braking area for Hislops, once more they come. They all safely negotiating this the first lap. There's the blue Vauxhall Astra of retiree from the second race, Ryan Bensley. He'll be very keen indeed to make amends, as will car number 29, that there Jethro Bovington, who dropped down through the order towards the closing stages of the second race. Up Clay Hill and on towards Druids. Currie doing a very good job. It's his first season in car racing for the former motorcycle racer, and at the moment he's showing a clean pair of heels to those behind. Of course, all of those behind do have ballast on board. Currie is the first of the car that's carrying no ballast, and Churchill now starts to attack. He's trying to draw his way alongside Alex Ashby. Alex Ashby will try and defend as much as he can. Of course, as a result of defending from Adrian Churchill, he's also holding up this man who we ride on board with his teammate Stuart Clark. Churchill getting alongside, he's on the right-hand side of the circuit. We'll give him the inside line when they get to Old Hall corner, and surely Churchill will make it through into third place. Indeed he does. Churchill up to third, Alex Ashby down into fourth place. His teammate Stuart Clark sits there in fifth place as Churchill runs wide on the exit of Old Hall corner, having just gained the position. He's now being re-attacked again by Alex Ashby, who is going to be on the outside line heading up towards Cascades. He's made it through, back into third place once more goes Alex Ashby. Churchill back down to fourth. They're going to run alongside down the lakeside and into the braking area for the Island Hairpin. A great battle this for the final podium place. Alex Ashby through, and Stuart Clark, his teammate, is going to follow him through. Adrian Churchill's got nowhere to go. The inside line is blocked. He goes around the outside line and makes it through. He remains in fourth position. Stuart Clark, well, was in fifth. He's now down to sixth because Dan Malone has fed his way through. As they head into the braking area for Hislops once more, there is Dan Malone, having just gained that position. Stuart Clark now behind him with Ryan Bensley, and then that will be Jethro Bovington forming the tail end of that quartet at the wheel of the Nissan 370Z. Right on board with Stuart Clark once more, looking ahead at the newly built car for this year, the Seat Leon in the hands of Dan Malone. Of course, Gary Duckman in the second of the Leons we've got in the field, currently in second position. Through Druids, under the bridge and up towards Lodge Corner, they go once more, with again Stuart Clark trying to stay in the wheel tracks of Dan Malone. His teammate trying to fend off the attentions of the red Vauxhall Astra VXR in the hands of multiple winner this year, Adrian Churchill. And a great fight it is between what is now 6 cars fighting over third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth position over the start-finish line. Of course, all of this battling behind is allowing both our race leader, Currie, and second place, Gary Duckman, just to pull away a little bit, as Alex Ashby again is under pressure from Adrian Churchill. Churchill equally as much has just lost momentum, and it looks like Dan Malone has made it through. So just as Churchill was looking to attack again, he's lost another position. So Dan Malone having a good run this weekend, and just look at this quartet of cars. Stuart Clark, ahead of him is Adrian Churchill, then Dan Malone, and then this man, Alex Ashby, who still remains, albeit for the moment, in third position, despite the fact everybody's queuing up behind him to try and take that position away. Out of the Island Hairpin they make their way, over Hilltop and down towards Hislops for a further time. As Stuart Clark, well, he's in that dichotomy. Does he attack? Does he defend? He wants to try and get ahead of Adrian Churchill. He's got to defend from the blue Vauxhall Astra of Ryan Bensley behind him. Through Knickerbrook and up towards Clay Hill. And you can see that even with Gary Duckman there in second place, there's no sight at all of Currie. He's managed to pull away very well indeed. Started on the outside of the front row of the grid, the first of the cars in the race with no ballast. whereas those behind, the vast majority of them with ballast on board. We said earlier on, Class B caters for those cars with between 130 and 160 brake horsepower. Class A caters for those with between 160 and 210 brake horsepower per tonne. And as is always the case in Dunlop Sport Maxx Production Cup, because they are all production-based specification cars, all running the standard Dunlop Sport Maxx tyre. Very close racing indeed, as Ashby again is under pressure, this time from Dan Malone. There's just the briefest of contact between the two of them. Something flying off one of the cars. They both continue. Of course, if those two fall over each other, we've got Adrian Churchill poised and ready to pounce as once more they approach the island hairpin. Train of 5 cars and not quite on the rear of that train of 5 ahead is Jethro Bovington. He's just an extra half a car's length or so behind. We sit here with Stuart Clark. Well, Alex Ashby has soaked up the pressure before. He has taken a win so far this season overall. He's hanging on to 3rd place at the moment as they head out of his ease and up towards Knickerbrook. Jethro Bovington looking as though that Nissan is struggling again towards the tail end of the race, and that looks like 3 wheels on his wagon for Tim Saunders. We saw him retire in the pits in the earlier races. It looks as though he's lost a wheel somewhere, and the Ford Focus ST is surely destined for retirement. As we ride on board with Andrey Magiy, and where is Jordan Witt? The two of them were battling away not that many minutes ago. He's all on his own for the moment. We certainly can't see Jordan Witt ahead. Can't see him in the mirror behind. So perhaps there's been problems for Jordan Witt somewhere around the circuit as well. And let's have a look at exactly what the problem was that brought about the retirement of Tim Saunders. We're on board with Andrey Magiy. Running wide, coming out of Old Hall, was Jordan Witt to the wheel of the BMW diesel. Andrey Magiy tries to draw his way alongside as they head down into Cascades. Jordan Witt very late on the brakes. And there's contact between the BMW and the Ford Focus. Jordan Witt spinning on the outside of the circuit at Cascades. Tim Saunders, of course, losing a wheel as a result in retirement. And Andrey Magiy goes through and takes the lead of the class. Here is still the battle for 3rd position. Alex Ashby under a huge amount of pressure from the Seat Leon of Dan Malone, who jinks alongside as they come over the start-finish line. Alex Ashby at the wheel of the Tesco 99 Momentum Racing Vauxhall Astra VXR. Dan Malone round the outside at Old Hall corner. Very brave move, however, he runs wide on the exit. And from having gained the place, he's now in danger of losing one. He loses one already to Adrian Churchill. Here comes Stuart Clark. He dives up the inside on the brakes for Cascade. So trying to gain one, he ultimately loses 2 for Dan Malone there, the youngster, the teenager from Wales. As we ride on board with Stuart Clark, say a busy weekend for him this weekend with mini races as well. We'll see him out in the mini challenge a bit later on. With Alex Ashby still in 3rd position, then it's Adrian Churchill in 4th, Stuart Clark in 5th, Dan Malone now down to 6th position. We ride on board with Stuart Clark, and it looks as though Dan Malone, that Seat Leon, is very, very quick in a straight line. Stuart Clark not particularly slow out of the corner. Let's have a look at the replay once more, as Dan Malone tried to grasp 3rd place around the outside at Old Hall corner, carried a bit too much speed in, pushed him wide on the exit, and from attacking Alex Ashby, he now finds himself having lost a couple of places. We're on board with Stuart Clark once more, who's very late on the brakes, coming up towards Lodge Corner. Great move that up the inside. Manages to gain the position, and therefore through into what will be 5th place goes Stuart Clark, with Dan Malone in danger of losing another place because Ryan Bensley in that blue Vauxhall Astra is trying to make his way up through the order. Dan Malone still hanging on to the position though, despite Stuart Clark having briefly got himself ahead. He's back behind once more. We've seen how good Clark is on the brakes up towards Cascade. Again, a great dive up the inside, regains the position. He won't want to lose any time relative to the car that's ahead of him, that being the red Courtney Sport car in the hands of multiple race winner so far this season, Adrian Churchill. Here is Alex Ashby, still in 3rd position. No sight at all of the cars in 1st and 2nd place as Malone runs wide at the island hairpin. That's allowed Ryan Bensley through and up the inside. Mistake there on the approach to the corner for Ryan Bensley. Here is Andrey Magiy. Of course, he now leads Class B at the wheel of his Mini and looks fairly comfortable in that position as well. Jordan Witt is still 2nd in class, but as a result of that spin, lost a whole host of time as he heads round through Cascades. Here is the car that is 3rd in the class, and there is the errant wheel from Tim Saunders by the look of things, being recovered by one of our Oulton Park marshals. Over the start-finish line, another lap about to be completed, and Ashby surely this time is going to lose 3rd place. Up the inside goes Adrian Churchill as they head round through Old Hall Corner. So Churchill now finally up to third. Alex Ashby again trying to re-attack. Alex Ashby with 18 kilograms of ballast on board. Adrian Churchill with the full 45 kilograms of ballast on board from his race 2 win. And for the moment, it doesn't seem to be hampering the Courtney Sport car. Down the lakeside they come, and in towards the braking area once more for the right-hand island hairpin. Alex Ashby in the Dunlop Race Academy car, being almost nudged around the corner there by Dan Malone. They just briefly avoided contact, but so close were they. And Alex Ashby now under pressure from his teammate. Stuart Clark, who's already gained a couple of race victories so far this season, won at Snetterton in his first outing of the year. We saw him claim the race 1 victory, a lot of which was behind the safety car. He's trying to attack his teammate, but he's got to defend from Ryan Bensley. Very late on the brakes again as they head round through Cascades Corner, and just the briefest of contacts with his teammate pushes Alex Ashby wide and all over the grass. He's lost a place to Ryan Bensley. He's going to lose another one to Dan Malone, and I think Jethro Bovington at the wheel of that Nissan 370Z is also going to feed his way through. Indeed, he has. So Alex Ashby now is going to be down in something like 7th position as a result of that. He won't be overly happy, the two Tesco Momentum cars making contact. Let's have a look at the replay. Very late on the brakes once more is Stuart Clark. Alex Ashby already turning into the corner, and for my money, albeit it was the briefest of contacts, that was surely down to Stuart Clark. As they head over the start-finish line, there goes Dan Malone under pressure from Jethro Bovington, the Nissan trying to get alongside again. I think there's just a slight tap between the two of them. All over the grass once more, running wide goes Dan Malone. Well, it's been a great race from Craig Currie, car number 23. His first season in motorsport, the former motorcycle racer, the 32-year-old waste director from Grantham in Lincolnshire, heading out of the Island Bend, over Hilltop and on towards Hislops, and is surely going to be destined for what for him is going to be his first victory in the Dunlop Sport Max Production Cup. Great battle going on for 4th and 5th still, however. Ryan Bensley and Stuart Clark locking horns once more as they approach Old Hall Corner. Bensley for the moment in 4th place. They're on their final lap now as well as they head out of Old Hall Corner, and Stuart Clark is going to try and get a run alongside Ryan Bensley. As they head through Denton's, you could see the lack of adhesion for Stuart Clark as he just briefly touched the curbs round the outside at Cascades, and it looks as though he's made it stick up to 4th place on the final lap of the race. Goes Stuart Clark. Bensley is alongside him, however Clark will have the inside line when they get to the island hairpin, and therefore Clark does indeed go through into 4th position. If he can keep it neat and tidy through Island Bend and through Hislop, surely he will claim that 4th position. But surely claiming his first win is going to be Craig Currie. He turns through Lodge Corner for the final time. I don't think we've ever seen a Nissan win in the Dunlop Sport Max Production Cup, and therefore Craig Currie will claim the first non-Vauxhall win of the season, and possibly the first ever win for a Nissan in the Sport Max Production Cup. Through goes Gary Duckman in 2nd place. We ride on board with Stuart Clark. He will indeed be classified in 4th position. A very frantic race that was from the highly experienced mini racer. Craig Currie takes his first ever win in the Dunlop Sport Max Production Cup from Gary Duckman in 2nd. Adrian Churchill rounds out the top 3.
Craig, that's quite a historic victory. First win for you in cars, and the first win ever for Nissan in Sportsmax.
Yeah, first win for me in cars was a shock, and it's good for Nissan. You know, we've been trying to catch the Astras all year, and to do it here, Oulton Park's good. So roll on the next round.
Yeah, this is very much a circuit that tests the car, and for the Nissan to prove itself here is a big step, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. The car works really well around Oulton Park. We had a few problems this morning, but it actually played into our hands because of they shuffled the grid and moved us forward. We had a good qualifying as well, qualified 4th in the damp, so the car works really well. It's better than Snetterton because the Astras just have the jump on you at Snetterton, and here it's all about corner speed and on the brakes. So I think everyone in the last race was conserving tyres and brakes, so luckily mine all worked well till the end.
Andrey, you've been there and thereabouts all weekend, and finally race 3 you managed to make it stick and get that win.
Yeah, I did. Well, in fairness, if I'm being 100% honest, he threw it away, so Jordan didn't make it very difficult for me. But yeah, it's a win, it counts, it's towards the championship, let's keep going.
But looking back to the early races, you were there and pressurising Jordan, especially race 2, where you swapped the lead many, many times. So you can't blame yourself. You have been competitive, haven't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Race 2 was really sort of the one that I enjoyed. This one was a bit disappointing, but race 2 was great. You know, if I made a maneuver and made it stick, that would have been the sort of the cherry on the cake. But I didn't. But it's practice, you know. Let's get some experience down and let's get better next time.
So the points after Oulton Park, Adrian Churchill still leads the championship and by an ever-increasing margin from Alex Ashby in second place.